Hello and welcome to a special edition of EWTN Pro-Life Weekly. I am your host, Catherine Hadro, in our Washington, D.C. studio. Thank you for joining us. In this week's edition of the show, we are going to bring you some of my favorite stories and interviews we've aired on this program. From speaking with the Vocations director of Sisters of Life to being on the red carpet for the Unplanned movie premiere, we've been blessed to bring you stories of life, truth, and hope. But first, it wouldn't be EWTN Pro-Life Weekly without our weekly call to action. Each and every week, we share a simple way you can take action and advance the pro-life movement. Whether it's signing a petition or sending a message to your lawmaker, we'll update you with the best way to harness the power of the pro-life movement week to week. To see the latest call to action, simply go to prolifeweekly.com. Again, that is prolifeweekly.com. For this first story, we highlight a group bringing some relief to silently suffering families. Losing a baby forever leaves a hole in a family's heart. But the Angel Gowns Ministry works to stitch up some healing. Take a look.
The finished product has this. It's a hospital gown, okay? We embroider this on the back.
One look at these hospital gowns and you can see they are designed with the tiniest patients in mind.
Simple pieces. Yeah, that's made if anybody would like to learn how to make it.
Maryland Catholic wife, mother, and grandmother Anita Schatz is the founder of Angel Gowns by Baba. Baba meaning grandmother. The Angel Gowns Ministry uses donated wedding dresses to create tiny burial gowns for babies who are stillborn, miscarried, or who die shortly after birth.
Angel gowns is a concept that a nurse came up with when she saw the need years ago. She's worked in labor and delivery and saw the babies being lost, and nothing was being done to help the grief of the parents. I don't care how far along a woman is in her pregnancy, she grieves for that baby. I mean, this is life.
Schatz founded her own Angel Gowns nonprofit last January after friends began mentioning the idea to her. She believed she was being sent on a mission by our Holy Mother.
Well, I've always been faithful to Our Lady, and I told her years ago, "Blessed Mother, use me." One thing led to another, and I said, "Blessed Mother, what are you sending me here? This is huge. This is not a one-time thing. This is forever. You want me to do this forever? So you have to send me an army, and you have to send me everything I need." And she has.
Just a year and a half after its launch, Angel Gowns by Baba boasts more than 150 volunteers nationwide. This Maryland woman's basement has been transformed into an assembly line. It's where the army of angels snip, stitch, and crochet away for what they hope is a little bit of healing for a family in need.
These women just make such beautiful gowns. We don't just make a plain white gown. These are made from wedding gowns. They're gorgeous.
Angel Gowns by Baba contacts local hospitals to find out their needs and to donate their items for free. They've also begun shipping across the country at no cost.
We just had a pile of little gowns, and now it's just amazing the size that this ministry has grown.
Anita Shiroki and Marianne Kurek were the first two volunteers to show up at Schatz's doorstep.
I had heard about Angel Gowns before, years ago, and so I thought, oh wow, here's the opportunity to and she's right down the street, so to donate my gown to her. And so Marianne and I have been friends for many, many years, and so we both decided to come.
Everyone knows someone who's had a miscarriage or has lost a child. It's very universal, and I think it's my biggest reason for being here is because I myself has had a miscarriage. And it's nice to know there's a support group, even though they don't know our names. There's somebody who cares about what happens to their child.
Miscarriage is a silent suffering that strikes close to home for this group's founder.
Well, I lost a grandchild once. I don't know if it was a girl or a boy. It's hard. You don't forget. I didn't want anybody to suffer this. They didn't have a gown. They had nothing. There was no funeral. There was nothing. The baby was just gone. And I can't imagine that. I want to help everybody. I don't care what size that baby is. We want to help.
The small sizes are a stark reminder about what's at stake here, which is why Schatz always takes her newest creations, from the gowns to the crocheted caps, to be blessed by a Catholic priest every Sunday. And while the Greater Angel Gowns Ministry movement has no religious affiliation, Schatz is unapologetic in weaving her Catholic faith into her work.
All right, we're going to begin our prayer today.
Even beginning every volunteer workshop with prayer.
Lord God, Heavenly Father.
These volunteers with a range in skill levels can create about 40 gowns from one wedding dress, which Angel Gowns by Baba is not lacking. The group estimates they have about 900 dresses in storage.
We have plenty of wedding gowns. I must have about 900 of them here right now, so please don't send me your wedding gowns. I appreciate it, but right now I don't need them. We need money because it costs me a lot of money to overnight a little angel gown.
Anita Schatz expects to stay busy for a long time with this ministry because the demand is tragically high. And even though the lives that are lost are short ones and their size small, the young child's worth and dignity are invaluable. That story and the emotion that comes with that kind of hidden work has just stayed with me. It's so important to remember the little ones whose lives may have been short, but hold huge significance. And it is so inspiring to see a Catholic woman on a mission to serve. And speaking of service, for our next story in this show, we introduce you to a group of pregnancy centers with a winning strategy to defend life.
And we are thus honored to bestow on the Women's Care Center the 2019 University of Notre Dame Evangelium Vitae Medal.
What once started as a simple mission 35 years ago is now being recognized for the major pro-life success that it is. The Women's Care Center is a chain of pregnancy resource centers, first founded in a tiny blue house in South Bend, Indiana in 1984 by Catholic professor Janet Smith. In its first year, the center served 300 women. This year, they'll serve 30,000. I met up with the vice president of the Pregnancy Resource Center to see their Baltimore location and to hear more about their mission.
This is our ultrasound room.
Oh. At Women's Care Center, we walk with women from the moment they find out their pregnancy until they send their child off to kindergarten. That continuum of care, that continuum of support and love and concrete help is very real.
With 32 centers located in 11 states, Women's Care Center claims the title of the largest and most successful pregnancy resource center in America. But the pro-life group ran into an unexpected roadblock last spring when their plans were halted by South Bend Mayor and Democratic presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg. The Women's Care Center bought a building next to a new abortion center in South Bend and needed a simple rezoning of the property to operate. It was approved by the city council, but then vetoed by Mayor Buttigieg.
We were terribly discouraged and felt defeated by that. But within days, we got a message from the owner of the building across the street, 30 feet away, who said, if you want to open, you should look at my building.
They did just that and are now looking forward to serving even more women at that location. Placing the centers right next to abortion facilities is all part of the Women's Care Center's winning strategy.
Next door saves lives. And the reason that it saves lives is because often women who find themselves in an unplanned pregnancy don't know that they have another option.
The statistics are stunning. They are saving lives.
Not only do more than 9 out of 10 women choose life, the abortion rates in the communities that we serve drop dramatically. So in our home community of South Bend, St. Joe County, the abortion rate since we've opened has dropped 75%. That is real care.
But Women's Care Center is quick to share the real reason behind their success.
The real secret is love.
That's what's great about the Women's Care Center. It's so welcoming and so beautiful that when people walk in, they just automatically feel at home.
Catholic mother Liz Walls regularly volunteers at the Baltimore Center. She's seen firsthand the positive impact it can have on women who walk in these doors, where all for free they can receive baby clothes, diapers and supplies, counseling, an ultrasound, and attend parenting classes, which Walls teaches here.
My big message, no matter what the topic is just to encourage them in their parenthood. That's exactly what we all need as parents, is just encouragement. All the resources are out there, to find out information about bathing, routines, manners, reading, all the important parts of being a parent. But really it's encouragement that you can do this, we're all in this together.
It's even become a family affair, with her children also coming to serve.
I feel happy to support somebody and having them live a proper life and not having that ended so quickly.
Just feeling like you made help someone have a child, or help them just get something, and taking these clothes and putting them on backs, or taking diapers and thinking that, wow, someone's gonna have this, and they can dress their child today and they can feel like they actually have something for their kid and that they're gonna have a good life.
From the littlest of helping hands to the top executives, it's clear that this group puts women front and center.
When the culture might be saying, no, you can't do this, this is not encouraging you to do that. Women can't, experience a difficult pregnancy and come out on the other side. And the Women's Care Center is here to say, yes, you can.
I was so grateful to do that story because it really demonstrates how the pro-life movement is the movement that truly cares for women in unplanned pregnancies, from the pregnancy test to beyond preschool. We are the movement of love. For this next favorite segment of mine, we share a portion of my conversation with Sister Bethany Madonna, the Vocations Director for Sisters of Life, which is a community of Catholic religious consecrated for the protection of human life. Sister Bethany Madonna offers an incredibly refreshing take on the pro-life cause. The Sisters of Life is both an active and contemplative religious order. So, Sister, from that perspective, coming from a deep prayer life and having a deep well of prayers, what do you see as the greatest obstacle today in building up a culture of life, and how do we overcome that?
I would say, especially for those who are pro-life and who are engaging in the battle, I would see falling into the temptation of doing over being. And we can really believe and battle for others that their life is precious and sacred, but I might not know that for myself, that I'm loved and that I'm sacred and that the Lord sees me in this way. So I think rather than, an acting or going out, I would say it's very much first receiving from the Lord His love, His gaze, the way He sees me in tenderness and mercy and joy. And then once I've received that, I'm able to reflect that back to every person that I meet, knowing that they're somehow communicating something of Him to me,
That is beautiful. And for our viewers who are watching who may not be called to enter into the Sisters of Life, what advice might you have for them to still build up a culture of life in their day-to-day life?
I would say, stay close to Jesus. Really, a sacramental life is how to be pro-life, to receive His mercy, to receive His body and blood and Holy Communion. But beyond prayer and interceding, I think being able to recognize, God might have entrusted me with certain gifts, whether it's the gift of presence or the gift of providing in some way, or the gift of using my professional talents at the service of life. We have thousands of coworkers of life who help us to serve the women who come to us pregnant and in crisis. And it's amazing to see their needs come forward and to see those who have asked to be of service to them meet. And God desires to uphold them and provide for them through the generosity of these hearts.
Doesn't she just radiate peace? I so cherished that conversation. When we come back,
did you know other buildings, which is pretty good?
Hear about a university program designed specifically for students with developmental or intellectual disabilities. Stay tuned as this special edition of EWTN Pro-Life Weekly continues after this break. Welcome back to this special edition of EWTN Pro-Life Weekly. I am your host, Catherine Hadro, and in this show, we are looking at some of my favorite pro-life stories and interviews. A huge highlight of 2019 was hopping on a plane to California and covering the red carpet premiere of the movie Unplanned, the true story of Abby Johnson leaving Planned Parenthood and stepping into the pro-life movement. Let's look back now at Hollywood's pro-life night.
It's crazy because I've never done something like this before.
This is my first one ever, so I feel very overwhelmed by it all, but it's absolutely amazing.
Right off Hollywood's Walk of Fame, the landmark TCL Chinese Theater rolled out the red carpet last week for the pro-life film Unplanned. It was a packed premiere.
When we showed up, I was like, is this it? And he was like, yeah, this is it. And
Yeah, there's just been a lot of anticipation, and there's so many people here, and it's been a lot of excitement.
Really exciting.
Oh, I cannot wait to be in the theater and feel all the energy of these people and to be there while they take the journey of this story.
How does it feel to see all these people here at the red carpet?
It's really cool.
It's exciting, isn't it?
The glitz and glam of it all is a type of Hollywood access many pro-lifers in the film industry aren't used to, including the movie's starring actress.
I don't know, it's this whirlwind of emotion, really. I feel like crying because I feel like Cinderella. And then at the same time, I'm excited because we've spent a year waiting to share this with people, and then I believe that this is a divine appointment. The time is now.
None of this fanfare would be happening if it wasn't for Abby Johnson sharing her true pro-life conversion story with the world.
It's very surreal to be here. It's incredible. I'm looking around and I'm looking at all these people here, and I'm just like, look at what God is doing. Look at what he's doing in our culture. Look what he's doing here tonight in Hollywood. I mean, I don't know what Hollywood premieres look like, but I look around and I see all of these religious sisters here, and I'm like, heck yeah, they're here for a Hollywood premiere of my film, you know?
Surrounding Johnson on the red carpet were the very people who have surrounded her in life.
It's kind of like, it's overwhelming because there's so many other people, but it's also like, you never think this would happen to you. It's kind of like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and like every little kid's dream, and it was certainly my dream, so this is like really big for me.
Who gets to go out and say, there's a movie about me and somebody plays me in a movie? You know, as many movies are made, and then biopics, and oh my gosh, there's one about us. We're just from small town Texas, and here we are.
Pro-lifers would recognize a lot of the faces who were here at Unplanned's red carpet premiere in Los Angeles.
I think this film has a special power to actually show what abortion is in a way that other films haven't, and then also to give an opportunity for hope, to be relatable so that it's not down on people who've had abortions or gone through abortion or been in support of abortion, but it's an opportunity to think of it another way and to be open to hope and change and healing ultimately.
When Christian entrepreneur Mike Lindell got a call from producers to make a cameo appearance, he wound up playing an even bigger role.
I said, I love the true story. I will be in it, but is it going to be a great movie? And I know a real good production. And they go, yes. And I said, are you short money? They said, about $1 million. I said, I'm going to wire it. I wired it before the plane took off with no contract or nothing. God just said, do it.
Support for the movie spans generations, with a red carpet appearance from classic crooner Pat Boone himself.
Hollywood does not want this film to be made because there's a linkage between all liberal thought and even liberal theology and Planned Parenthood. This should shut Planned Parenthood down because it is an abortion industry. And the film portrays it that way.
On the unplanned red carpet, cast and crew often sound more like missionaries than movie makers.
This is the story that was written by the Holy Spirit and lived out by Abby. It was just our job to help translate it. And we're very thankful that we were allowed a part in that.
I can use what I love to do, what I'm passionate for a cause that's bigger than myself. And I am so excited for the world to watch Unplanned. I know lives are going to be changed, and that I get to use my talent to do that. I think it's every actor's dream.
If you've been praying for a film that will build up a culture of life, Unplanned just might be the ticket.
I mean, God is amazing, and I'm just so excited for His truth and His mercy to be shown tonight to all these people.
After that Hollywood night, Unplanned would go on to break into the top 4 box office spot opening weekend. The success continues. Now you can order the DVD through EWTN's religious catalog. Just go to EWTNRC.com. Finally, I got to go back to college for this favorite story of mine, but it wasn't to attend class. It was to meet some incredible students. Here, we introduce you to a university program empowering students with Down syndrome and other developmental and intellectual disabilities to further their education and live a fulfilling life.
It's a lot of fun. It's a really good opportunity to be here.
Young adults whose disabilities have traditionally excluded them from higher education are able to take a seat in the classroom at George Mason University, where Dr. Heidi Graff is program director of the school's Mason Life program.
Two of our major goals for the program are for students to seek meaningful employment after graduation, and then also to have community integration. Our students come in and they have some foundational academic classes that they need to take, kind of building blocks, getting ready classes, so that then starting their second semester they go out and they take regular catalog classes. They do so with support, and it's for non-credit, so we're able to modify the course as much as the student might need.
The Mason Life program provides a post-secondary education for students with a variety of intellectual and developmental disabilities. There are approximately 50 students, supported by about 100 staff members. While the classroom is diverse, the students and alumnus we interviewed happen to all have Down syndrome and are all Catholic.
I love being Catholic from us. It's kind of very important.
Upon meeting them, it's clear these young adults dream big.
My biggest dream is to become a pop star.
I want to become a Hollywood film director.
My dream is to be an ER nurse.
In a world that points out differences, the Mason Life program reminds us how ultimately we're all alike.
Perhaps they need to have more systematic teaching, and perhaps they need more support. But the end goal is the same. All students who go to university want to graduate and have a meaningful job.
Just like the rest of the George Mason University Patriots, these Mason Life students are learning how to be adults. The program's independent living classes and internship opportunities prepare them for the real world.
Through independent living, they show me how to respect other people, like two people need to cook in the kitchen together.
I work at a preschool called Child Development Center.
I get to know other buildings, which is pretty good. So the first experience with the buildings that I had, it is of coming to class and coming back to the dorms. So I could figure that out on my own, and I did it all by myself.
Patrick, or PK Kelly, a recent alumnus of Mason Life, has carried the lessons he learned from the program on to 2 jobs.
I work in a Giant. First week I'm doing is bagging groceries, and normally I helping people out. And I got another job on Capitol Hill. Capitol Hill is my internship, and I am working at Brian Fitzpatrick's office, and I open envelopes.
The staff at George Mason Life say the growth is astounding.
I've definitely seen a lot of confidence, especially in regards to their reading, and a real ownership of that they can do work, not only in our classrooms, which are more self-contained, but also when they go to take classes around George Mason campus. Personally, I see a lot of independence too. In once again, I can go around campus. I can figure out how I want to get around the community. I can be a successful member of the community once I graduate too.
So one of my greatest things to see is a student come to us who maybe didn't have those skills. Maybe they just knew how to sort their laundry, and they graduate and they not only know how to do all of their laundry skills, but to cook their meals and to have time management, to be able to budget their money. That's a joy.
These students are not defined by disabilities or the can'ts. They're empowered to know they can.
Being a college student can be a little stressful sometimes after high school, but become a college student is really fun.
My favorite thing being college is making new friends, making happy faces on each other's face.
I think George Mason is a really good opportunity because it's really amazing school and people just love it here, and it's like a big family to us. And it's a lot of fun. We have like a connection to us.
Mason Life grads have exceeded goals and gained new ground. And if your office hires a person with an intellectual and developmental disability, maybe then you can grow too.
We're finding that the student, of course, gains tremendous skills, but the real change are the other people in the office, the people without the disability. It opens their mind to all that people can do, all that people can relate to. So that's the big change, and it's life-changing.
What an innovative program for some incredible students. It was a joy to meet each one of them. And that does it for this special edition of EWTN Pro-Life Weekly. Until next time, be sure to reach us at prolifeweekly@ewtn.com or connect with us on social media. Just search for EWTN Pro-Life on all the major platforms. And remember, life is a gift. Your life is a gift. God bless.